Well, hello again, friends. It's your old friend, Katie the Calutron Girl. I've been living here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, the secret city, since the Manhattan Project. And now that the war is over, I have gotten the all clear to share that secret history with everyone. There's so much to tell. Are you ready to learn more? Let's go. When the Manhattan Project began and the city of Oak Ridge was first created in 1942, the Army Corps of Engineers needed a robust workforce to take on such a large undertaking. Today, we want to learn a little bit more about the nearly 7,000 African Americans that were recruited from all over the South to work on the Manhattan Project. Imagine what it must have been like back then. You're transported to a brand new city far from home to work for the cause of freedom. And you arrive in a heavily patrolled, full-scale military operation inside of a gated city. Signs surrounded the plant with messages such as see nothing, hear nothing, say nothing, and keep mum about this job. Quite the paradox, eh? Even though it was 1942, a full 12 years before the start of the civil rights movement in the United States, racial discrimination by federal agencies had already been outlawed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Because of this, Oak Ridge was able to offer higher-paying jobs than what was typically available in the South. But even still, most African-American workers in Oak Ridge were assigned to menial jobs, such as construction, janitorial services, and domestic help. But some were skilled workers, such as brick masons and nurses. Regardless of job title, the war effort was all hands on deck, and everyone played a pivotal role in ending the war. The only housing that was made available to these workers were small, low-cost structures known as Hutments. 4 to 5 people lived in each 16-foot by 16-foot plywood structure with no plumbing and no insulation, so heat was provided by a coal stove. Oak Ridge during the Manhattan Project was highly segregated, with separate communities and businesses for African American and white residents. During these days, African Americans who were working were not allowed to live with their spouses. They lived in different areas with fencing and guards between them. African American children were not allowed to come live with their parents during the Manhattan Project. Today in Oak Ridge, you can visit a replica Hutment here at the Oak Ridge History Museum. This authentic reproduction shows the living conditions of these workers who helped to construct the wartime manufacturing facilities during World War II. When you visit Oak Ridge, stop by the museum to gain an unparalleled glimpse into an essential chapter of American history. You can find museum ticket information and hours at oakridgehistorymuseum.com. Now let's fast forward a few years in today's history lesson. After the war was over, there was significant backlash from the community about the substandard living conditions that the African American residents of Oak Ridge were still living in. As a result, the Scarboro community of Oak Ridge was developed. When the Supreme Court ruled in Brown versus Board of Education in 1954 that racially segregated schools were unconstitutional, that set the stage for another mostly unknown piece of Oak Ridge history. You've probably heard of Ruby Bridges in New Orleans and the Little Rock Nine in Arkansas. But 2 years before Little Rock and 5 years before New Orleans, on September 6, 1955, 85 brave students from Oak Ridge's Scarboro community quietly entered Robertsville Junior High in Oak Ridge High School. Locally, we know them as the Scarboro 85. Nationally, they are hardly known at all. But a group of local historians are actively doing something to change that. We're here at AK Bissell Park, home of the Secret City Commemorative Walk and the International Friendship Bell, and future home to the Scarboro 85 Monument. Plans are in the works to remember these students with what will be a truly striking and original monument to honor those brave students and to make sure their story is never forgotten. You can learn much more about the Scarboro 85 Monument or donate to its construction by visiting scarboro85monument.com. Well, friends, that's all the time we have today. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the fascinating and complex history of my hometown, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We hope you come and visit us soon. You can plan your visit by going to exploreoakridge.com. Until next time, it's Katie the Calutron Girl, signing off!